back and start over. Hello, everybody. This is Jeanne Andrus, the Menopause Guru, and this is Menopause Matters. And today I have with me Heather Allmendinger, who is a period coach. And I want you to meet Heather, the radiant soul whose life took a transformational turn when she became a certified health coach. She discovered that periods are vital and they are an outward sign of inner health. Just like blood pressure and heart rate, these cycles shape our physical, emotional, and mental health. And Heather, I am so happy to have you here today because we had an amazing conversation that was broadcast on my podcast, Menopause Matters, and listeners can go out and catch that whole episode because it's an amazing talk about how periods and hormonal birth control and perimenopause are all combined. And I wanted to bring you on to the TV show today just to give us a little taste of what we need to think about. So I think we started with sort of this idea that suppressing our periods isn't necessarily the best idea. And then we got into synthetics and all kinds of things. So I want to talk in the next few minutes about how our periods are indicating our own, as you said, inner health, our physical, emotional, mental health, and why we need to be aware of how that's happening and how good periods, bad periods, no periods all relate into that.
Well, thank you, Jeanne, for having me on today. That's a big question.
I know, and we only have a few minutes to talk about.
And it's okay. When you look at the cycle, if you look at the hormones in all of our bodies, there are 50 hormones that regulate their messengers within our body.
That we found.
That we found.
Because we've had 4 or 5 in the last 10 years discovered.
So okay. Of those 50 that we know of, 12 are involved in our reproductive cycle. And so you have these 12 hormones, and when you suppress 2 of them, one is estrogen is a growth hormone, progesterone is the maintaining or regulating hormone. When you suppress them, it can lead to issues with brain health, heart health. It can lead to liver health, kidney health, bone health. I mean, blood vessels. It's linked to many, many parts of our body.
As I've said many times, estrogen receptors are part of every cell in our body. Progesterone to a lesser extent, but probably the majority. So I've said that, you're reinforcing this. It's every system, every cell in our bodies.
Yes. Yep. It interacts with our entire body. Our periods, PMS is common. PMS is our body saying something's off balance. And it's usually an estrogen imbalance. Sometimes it can be progesterone, but it's usually more of an estrogen balance because we are inundated with fake estrogens in fragrances and in our furniture and our children in their mattresses, in their car seats,
in our cleaning products, in our makeup.
Yep. We are inundated with fake estrogens in addition to our normal, natural, hormonal estrogen. It can wreak havoc in our bodies. And it can lead to some of those PMS symptoms that we notice right before our periods.
Yeah.
We do not have to have heavy, painful cycles. We do not have to have PMS. I used to have PMS very badly.
Mm-hmm.
Anxiety, depression, painful, heavy cycles. And since I've been aware of cycle syncing and delved into this world and supporting my body, my PMS is mild, if not completely non-existent. And my periods are actually enjoyable, which I don't know too many people that can actually say their periods are enjoyable. I actually look forward to my period every single month.
I frankly look forward to not having one every single month. But I also, I see what you're saying, and this is what I say to my clients, is that if we support healthy levels of our hormones, not, and our bodies are really designed for menopause. So they are designed to step down and take that level of estrogen down to a lower level. But that means supporting our bodies so that we get the maximum benefit from that lowered level.
Yes.
And so we're supporting our bodies to have the right levels of progesterone and estrogen all through perimenopause and into menopause. So 3 best tips for normalizing the estrogen balance. And if you want to hear the whole episode on hormonal birth control, go to the podcast, because we're not going to repeat that today. But let's talk about a couple of tips for normalizing the levels of estrogen in our bodies.
Unfortunately, sugar
Oh, yeah.
plays a wonderful, wonderful role in
In creating havoc?
yes, in creating havoc, including caffeine and alcohol. I know all three things that those that are in perimenopause and going into menopause really, really tend to like lean towards.
We
But
lean on.
yes, we lean on. We like that glass of wine to relax. We like those sugars. We need that caffeine in the morning. But what's happening is it's spiking our blood sugars. And
Mm,
it can take up to 3 days for our blood sugar to regulate after a spike. So that constant coffee in the morning, coffee in the afternoon, wine at night is just a vicious, vicious cycle. So trying to not, I'm not saying eliminate,
yeah.
minimize,
That's what I was
minimize
going to
that.
say, is we're looking
Yes.
to, and sugar is probably the hardest of those to have some and not all, not,
Yeah.
it really is very addictive. You can get by with a shorter amount of a smaller amount of caffeine. You can get by with a smaller amount of alcohol. Sugar is very difficult. It gets very entrenched in our lives.
Dark chocolate sometimes is a nice one to eat
Yeah.
because it gives you the magnesium, it gives you that sweetness that your body craves, but you don't need a lot of it. And usually 60 to 70% cocoa
Yeah, that's what I was going to
is,
say, is 70% or
yep,
above.
it is a good spot to go to. Fiber is
Mhm.
another one to make sure that you get enough fiber in your body. The standard recommended daily value is 20 to 25 grams per day,
Mhm.
but they're finding that 23 to 25 actually decreases the estrogen too much and causes other hormonal imbalances.
Mm.
So for my clients that I talk to, I suggest going 20 to 23 grams of fiber per day because estrogen is released in our solid waste. So that will help us stay regular.
Mhm.
Water. 64 ounces of water may not be enough for you.
Yeah.
So I usually go take your body weight, divide it in half, and drink that half amount in ounces. So a 140-pound woman would be drinking about 70 ounces of water a day. And you'll know if you're hydrated because your urine will be that light yellow color. If it's a color of apple juice, you're dehydrated.
Yeah.
And those are just some things that I let my clients know. I let those that are having those PMS issues, those hot flashes, those night sweats. These are the things that I tell them, and they're amazed how well it helps. Some even add a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to some water on a daily basis to help decrease those hot flashes and night sweats.
Yeah. All great tips. Um, if you go the supplementation route, DIM is also a great regulator of estrogen. And if you are perimenopausal and estrogen dominant, that's when you take it. It's not because it helps you release estrogen from your body. If you're postmenopausal, no, because it will take out what little bit of estrogen you have. So DIM is great for perimenopause. That's another thing that I sometimes tell my estrogen dominant clients.
Yeah. And I've seen even roller balls. I have one that's called Superwoman, and I use that when I have hot flashes and night sweats. And I have a hot flash spray that I use that I make with witch hazel that has peppermint in it and some other essential oils. So there's ways to naturally decrease those symptoms that you're having.
Yeah. Yeah. Heather, it's been wonderful to have this little talk with you. Can you give our listeners the best way to get in touch with you? Because I know there are many people who would be very interested in hearing more about what you do.
The easiest way to find me is on Facebook through my personal page, Heather M. Allmendinger. And from there, it will take you to many different places to find me. I'm on Instagram. I have a Facebook business page. I have a website. I do have a Facebook group called Full of Life Living that you're welcome to join. It is a private group, so we talk about periods and how to live life fully in that group.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I look forward to many interesting conversations. We've talked about some other things that hopefully will come up in the next few months. So thanks so
Sounds
much.
great. You're welcome. Thank you for having me.